Young and the Restless next week. Jack left stunned, Sharon horrified by devastating revelation. Young and the Restless spoilers reveal Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, is being horrified by a bombshell revelation, and Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, is stunned when things take a wild twist with the Victor Newman, Eric Braeden rivalry. Young and the Restless next week. The Abbotts get the upper hand. Alright, let's talk about what's happening next week as things in Genoa City take a hard turn. Let's start with what leaves Jack speechless next week. At the end of this week, Kyle Abbott, Michael Mealer, and Jack Abbott showed up at Victor Newman's new ranch house and said they captured Matt Clark, Roger Howarth. They will happily swap him for the AI so that the Abbotts can destroy it. Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, thinks that Jack is making things up, and he wants to know how they got a hold of Matt. Kyle is right there snarking that they have had all of the Newmans followed, and that's how they found Matt because he was with Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow. If you remember, there was Matt crawling away from the car wreck, and then he was in the alley, and then somebody was there. It was obviously an Abbott or their security people. When Victor asks what if they refuse to hand over the AI, Jack says, "Fine. I'll just let Matt Clark loose." Jack Abbott plays hardball with Victor Newman over Matt Clark on YNR. Adam's appalled because Matt's a psycho that is a danger to the Newmans. But Jack claps right back that Victor and the Newmans are targeting Jabot, and they're putting his family and his employees in jeopardy. So that's danger as well. Adam is surprised because this isn't like Jack. He's used to him being the better man. But Jack makes it clear he's ready to play hardball. Adam has seen this side of Jack. If I recall correctly, they faked a diary to set Victor up for murder back in the Michael Money days. They've played very dirty together before, so Adam knows this. Jack basically is trying to sell this to Victor as a win-win. They'll get Matt, Victor's family will be safe, and then they get the AI so Jack's company and his family are safe. He asks Victor, "Do we have a deal?" Young and the Restless. Victor has doubts. But obviously, the mustache is going to be stubborn and says he doesn't need help taking Matt down. Jack's kind of surprised at Victor's attitude given that his family is in danger. Noah Newman, Lucas Adams, already been taken, and Nick is in the hospital. That's at the point that Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott, bursts in and tells Victor, "Enough. Give them the AI so we can have Matt. We'll give him to the police. This whole nightmare can be over." Nikki's begging Victor to take the deal. She just wants to know Matt's behind bars because she's very upset and worried about the safety of their kids. Victor is doing his usual, telling Nikki to butt out and that he'll handle it. But she reminds him what's happened to Nick already. Victor also is doubting that the Abbotts would destroy the AI, but Jack says, "No problem. We'll destroy it together. Everybody knows it's gone." To prove that they have what they say, Jack has his security people haul in Matt. He's really ticked off and Jack's like, "Here he is. Do we have a deal?" That is the cliffhanger stuff from Friday. Kane Ashby and Phyllis Summers strike a secret AI deal on YNR. In Young and the Restless spoilers for next week, Diane Jenkins, Susan Walters, is pacing the floor at the mansion waiting for an update. Jack comes home from the ranch, and it looks like things go wildly off the rails after they brought Matt in to hand him off. Jack tells Diane that the Matt Clark stuff was not even the craziest part of the evening. Because while Victor and Jack were bickering and debating, Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, was working on Kane Ashby, Daniel Goddard, to team up with her. Phyllis wants to take down Newman. Kane says, "Yeah, easy peasy." As I have long suspected and said here on the podcast, there's a backdoor into the AI that Kane can access. Back when he was going to let Billy Jason Thompson use it, Kane confirmed that there was a way he could control the AI and Billy would know, and he would think he was in control. Young and the Restless. Kane and Phyllis strike a deal? It looks like Kane and Phyllis strike a deal. What's crazy about this is that means that Kane could have stopped Victor from destroying his company at any time. I think it all comes back down to Lily, Crystal Khalil, where Kane was thinking if he made himself look like a victim instead of a perpetrator, he might win her. But it's not working out that way. So, it looks like Kane goes ahead, and he flips the switch. The AI that Victor installed on their server to use against Arabesque and against Matt's company turned around and attacked Newman Enterprises instead. Phyllis Summers seizes control of Newman Enterprises. It looks like Phyllis and Kane are going to show up at the ranch and drop the bombshell on Victor. I think that's the crazy part that Jack was telling his wife about. Good news is Diane, Jack, and Cal don't have to worry about Victor going after Jabot because he's no longer in control of the AI. The bad news is Jack and Diane may worry because Phyllis and Kane have the AI and could turn around and go after Jabot. I suspect that Jack might agree to turn over Marchetti to Summer Newman, Allison Lanier, if they'll say, "We won't use the AI on you." At the end of this week, Kane is given to Phyllis because he lost Lily and the kids. She is gone for months. We know this is Crystal Khalil's maternity leave, but the kids sent their dad a text saying, "We're done with you. Don't call. Don't write. It's over." Young and the Restless. Kane thinks, okay, I might as well just be Dumas again and burn things down with Phyllis. With Kane and Phyllis in control of the AI, all of Genoa City should be quaking because they are town pariahs and they've got vendettas against a lot of people on their to-do list. Next week, it looks like the AI does its thing really fast because Phyllis is at the new ranch and gets in Victor's face. Phyllis tells him Newman Enterprises now belongs to her and Kane, and there's nothing Victor or anybody else can do about it. I'm really excited to see him get his comeuppance that is way overdue. Let's be real, he was warned not to use the AI. Michael, Christian Jules LeBlanc, Nikki, Adam, Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinley, and Claire Grace Newman, Haley Aaron, all tried to talk him out of it, but Victor wouldn't listen, and looks like he is going to pay the price. Tessa Porter drops a divorce bombshell on Sharon Newman. Also next week, Sharon is going to be horrified when Tessa Porter, Kate Fairbanks, tells her mother-in-law that she can't keep doing this anymore. It's too hard. Sharon's asking, "What are you saying?" It looks like this is when she finds out Tessa is planning to divorce Mariah, Cameron Grimes. But what else can Tessa do? Mariah wants nothing to do with her. She left the clinic and refused to talk to Tessa or their daughter Aria Porter Copeland on Christmas. She abandoned them. I do wonder if Sharon will ask if Tessa's divorcing Mariah because there's somebody new in her life. Young and the Restless. If Sharon asks this, I wonder if Tessa admits she's moving on with Daniel Romolotti, Michael Graziade. That would be a hard pill for Sharon to swallow because for years and years, she wrongly blamed Daniel for Cassie Newman's, also Cameron Grimes' death, Mariah's twin sister. It wasn't Daniel's fault, but Sharon hated and blamed him anyway. Honestly, of all the people in Genoa City for Tessa to move on with, the fact that it is Daniel will hit Sharon hard. I don't think Daniel is getting in the way. Maybe Mariah's getting in her own way and Tessa has been the one driving them toward getting more deeply involved. I don't think Sharon will see that. I think she'll blame Daniel. Wait to see if Tessa tells Sharon that she is now with Daniel. Be sure to come back tomorrow for our full Young and the Restless weekly spoilers and lots more. We're here with Y&R every single day. Today's shocking news of the Young and the Restless. Next week, Jack left stunned, Sharon horrified by a devastating revelation. Genoa City is about to erupt, and the Young and the Restless fans should brace themselves for one of the most emotionally explosive weeks in recent memory. Next week, secrets long buried claw their way to the surface, alliances fracture under unbearable pressure, and two of Genoa City's most beloved figures, Jack Abbott and Sharon Newman, find their worlds violently shaken by revelations neither saw coming. What begins as uneasy suspicion spirals into full-blown devastation, leaving lasting consequences that could permanently reshape the power dynamics in town. Jack Abbott's world turns upside down. Jack Abbott has weathered betrayals, corporate coups, and family wars before, but nothing prepares him for what's coming. Sources hint that Jack stumbles upon information so shocking it leaves him completely stunned, questioning not only his closest relationships, but also his own judgment. At the heart of Jack's shock is a revelation tied to Abbott Enterprises and a secret maneuver that appears to have been orchestrated behind his back. For weeks, Jack has sensed something was off, documents not adding up, meetings happening without his knowledge, and a familiar feeling of being one step behind an unseen enemy. Next week, that uneasy intuition proves terrifyingly accurate. The bombshell? Evidence suggests that someone Jack deeply trusts may have been quietly working against him, possibly aligning with a rival power player to weaken his position from the inside. Whether this betrayal stems from greed, revenge, or misguided loyalty remains unclear. But one thing is certain: Jack's sense of family and faith in those closest to him will be shattered. Is Billy at the center of the storm? Naturally, speculation immediately swirls around Billy Abbott, whose complicated history with Jack makes him an obvious suspect. Billy has tried to walk a straighter line lately, but his past mistakes loom large. When Jack confronts him, the tension is electric, raw, emotional, and laced with years of unresolved resentment. However, insiders tease that the truth may be even more devastating than Jack imagines. Billy might not be the mastermind Jack suspects. Instead, the real betrayal could come from an unexpected corner, someone Jack least expects, someone who knows exactly how to hurt him. If Jack lashes out too soon, he risks pushing away the very people who might help him survive what's coming. But can he afford to hesitate when his legacy and company hang in the balance? Diane's past comes back to haunt them all. Just when Jack thinks he's uncovered the worst of it, Diane Jenkins becomes entangled in the unfolding nightmare. Whispers of a secret from Diane's past, one that could expose dangerous connections or hidden deals, begin circulating. Jack is forced to ask himself an impossible question. Did Diane know more than she let on? The possibility that Diane may have withheld critical information sends Jack reeling. Their fragile trust, already tested by history, now teeters on the edge. If Jack discovers that Diane played any role, direct or indirect, in the betrayal, it could destroy what they've rebuilt and ignite another bitter Abbott war. Sharon Newman's life-altering horror. While Jack grapples with betrayal, Sharon Newman faces a revelation so devastating it leaves her utterly horrified. For Sharon, this isn't about business or power. It's deeply personal, striking at the core of her family and her past. Next week, Sharon uncovers information that suggests someone close to her has been living a dangerous lie. This revelation threatens to rewrite everything she thought she knew about her loved ones and herself. As fragments of truth fall into place, Sharon realizes she may have been manipulated for months, possibly longer. The emotional fallout is immediate and intense. Sharon is rocked by guilt, fear, and heartbreak, wondering how she missed the signs and whether her trust placed someone she loves in grave danger. A secret involving Mariah? Fans are already buzzing that Sharon's horror may be connected to Mariah Copeland. Could Mariah have been hiding something to protect Sharon, or to protect herself? Hints suggest that Mariah may have made a desperate decision, one that now threatens to explode with far-reaching consequences. If Sharon learns that Mariah kept silent about a serious threat, it could fracture their bond. Sharon has always fought fiercely for her children, and realizing that one of them may have suffered, or been at risk, without her knowledge is almost too much to bear. Tears, accusations, and raw confessions are expected as mother and daughter confront a truth neither is ready to face. Ian Ward's shadow looms large. Adding to the terror is the chilling sense that Ian Ward's influence may not be as far in the past as Sharon hoped. Subtle clues hint that Ian's manipulations could still be echoing through Genoa City, leaving destruction in their wake. If Sharon realizes that Ian's legacy of control and trauma has resurfaced, it could reopen wounds she's spent years trying to heal. The possibility that someone has been pulling strings behind the scenes, using fear, secrets, and emotional leverage, pushes Sharon to the brink. Her horror isn't just about what's been revealed, but about what it means for the future. Jack and Sharon. Two shocks, one dangerous collision? As Jack reels from betrayal and Sharon grapples with devastation, their storylines begin to intersect in unexpected ways. Could the truth Jack uncovers be connected to the same dark web ensnaring Sharon? Genoa City thrives on interconnected secrets, and next week may prove that these shocking revelations are part of something much bigger. If the same hidden player is manipulating both Abbott Enterprises and Sharon's family, the fallout could be catastrophic. Allies may need to unite across old divisions, but trust is in short supply, and time may be running out. Genoa City, on the brink. Elsewhere, the tension ripples outward. Victor Newman watches carefully, sensing opportunity amid chaos. Nikki worries that old enemies are resurfacing. and characters on the fringes of both Jack and Sharon's lives begin to show their true colors, some stepping up to help, others quietly fanning the flames. By the end of the week, nothing will be the same. Relationships will be tested, loyalties questioned, and the future of multiple families thrown into uncertainty. What happens next? Will Jack uncover the full truth before it's too late, or will his shock lead him to make a devastating mistake? Can Sharon process the revelation without losing the people she loves most? And is Genoa City facing the return of a long-dormant villain, or the rise of a new one? One thing is certain. The Young and the Restless is heading into a must-watch week packed with emotional confrontations, jaw-dropping twists, and consequences that will echo for months to come. Today's shocking news of The Young and the Restless. Next week in Genoa City, the Abbotts get the upper hand. If you thought the Abbotts were down for the count on The Young and the Restless, think again. Next week, Genoa City tilts sharply in their favor as long-simmering schemes finally snap into place. Shocking revelations come to light, and the balance of power shifts in ways no one, especially the Newmans, will see coming. This isn't a slow burn or a minor win. This is a full-blown Abbott resurgence, and it's set to leave enemies reeling, alliances scrambling, and family bonds tested to their limits. From Jack Abbott's quiet confidence to Billy Abbott's dangerous unpredictability, the Abbott clan steps into next week armed with strategy, secrets, and a renewed sense of purpose. And the fallout? Explosive. Jack Abbott's masterstroke, calm before the corporate storm. Jack Abbott has always been at his most dangerous, when he appears the calmest, and next week proves exactly why. While Victor Newman continues to believe he's 3 steps ahead, Jack is already 10 moves into a plan that could permanently alter the corporate battlefield. Behind closed doors, Jack has been quietly gathering leverage, information that ties directly into Newman Enterprises' most vulnerable deals. What looks like a routine business maneuver turns out to be a precision strike designed to weaken Victor's grip without triggering open war. The genius of Jack's strategy? It forces Victor into a corner where retaliation would only expose his own hidden liabilities. Sources close to the situation tease that Jack's move will involve a surprise partnership, one that Victor never anticipated and one that puts the Abbotts in a position of undeniable strength. The shock won't just be the deal itself, but who signs on the dotted line. By week's end, Jack isn't just standing tall, he's standing victorious, with Victor forced to acknowledge that underestimating an Abbott is a mistake you only make once. Diane Jenkins, the secret weapon no one saw coming. Love her or hate her, Diane Jenkins is about to prove why she remains one of the most formidable players in Genoa City. While many have dismissed her as a liability to Jack, next week reveals that Diane has been working quietly in the background, protecting Abbott interests in ways no one realized. Diane uncovers a critical piece of information tied to a past betrayal, one that could ruin a powerful rival if exposed. Instead of immediately pulling the trigger, Diane makes a calculated decision. She brings the intel straight to Jack. The moment cements their partnership and proves that Diane isn't just loyal, she's strategic. But here's the real twist. Diane's involvement isn't purely business. Her actions trigger emotional shockwaves that ripple through the Abbott family, especially for those who still question her place among them. By the time the truth comes out, it will be impossible to deny that Diane played a pivotal role in the Abbotts' rise. And for her enemies? The message is chillingly clear. Diane Jenkins is not to be underestimated. Billy Abbott, loose cannon or secret genius. Billy Abbott's behavior has raised plenty of eyebrows lately, and next week finally answers the burning question. Is Billy spiraling or setting a trap? The truth lands somewhere in between, and it's far more dangerous than anyone imagined. Billy makes a bold, seemingly reckless move that alarms Lily and sends shockwaves through the corporate world. At first glance, it looks like he's sabotaging everything the Abbotts are trying to build. But behind the chaos lies a deeper strategy, one that involves baiting an enemy into revealing their hand. When the trap snaps shut, it's spectacular. Billy's move exposes a rival's duplicity in real time, forcing them to either confess or self-destruct. The reveal not only vindicates Billy, but strengthens the Abbott position in a way Jack couldn't have achieved alone. Still, The victory comes at a personal cost. Lily is left questioning whether she can ever truly trust Billy's methods, even when they work. One thing is certain, Billy Abbott is back in the game, and he's playing to win, no matter how dangerous the stakes. Ashley Abbott returns to center stage. Just when things couldn't get more intense, Ashley Abbott steps back into the spotlight, and she doesn't come empty-handed. Ashley brings critical insight into a brewing crisis that threatens to derail everything Jack and Billy have worked for. Her return isn't about nostalgia, it's about control. Ashley challenges Jack's decisions, forcing him to confront uncomfortable truths about leadership, loyalty, and family legacy. The tension between them is palpable, but it ultimately sharpens the Abbott strategy. Ashley sees what others miss, and her perspective becomes the missing puzzle piece that solidifies the family's upper hand. However, Ashley's involvement also stirs old resentments and unresolved wounds. A private confrontation reveals that the Abbotts' greatest strength, their unity, could also be their greatest vulnerability if old grudges aren't laid to rest. Next week makes one thing clear: when Ashley Abbott speaks, the family listens. The Newmans stagger as the ground shifts. While the Abbotts rise, the Newmans falter, and the shift is dramatic. Victor Newman senses the change in momentum, but for once, his instincts arrive too late. Attempts to regain control only deepen the crisis, and cracks begin to show within his inner circle. Even Nikki starts to question whether Victor's aggressive tactics have finally backfired. Victoria, meanwhile, finds herself caught between loyalty to her father and the unsettling realization that the Abbotts may have outplayed them fair and square. Her internal conflict sets the stage for potential betrayal, or, at the very least, a shocking reassessment of alliances. As the week unfolds, it becomes painfully clear: the Newmans are no longer dictating the terms of engagement. They're reacting, and that's a dangerous place to be. Personal fallout. When power comes at a price. Victory never comes without consequences, and next week ensures the Abbotts feel the weight of their success on a deeply personal level. Relationships are strained as secrets come to light. Long-held grudges resurface. Trust is tested not just between rivals, but within the family itself. Jack faces the painful reality that winning the war may cost him emotionally, especially as those closest to him question the sacrifices required. Meanwhile, Billy's risky tactics leave emotional wreckage in their wake, forcing him to confront whether his hunger for redemption is worth the damage he causes. Diane, too, must face backlash as her involvement becomes public, reigniting old animosities that threaten to undo everything she helped secure. The Abbotts may have the upper hand, but holding on to it will require more than strategy. A shocking cliffhanger changes everything. Just when it seems the Abbotts have locked in their victory, The Young and the Restless delivers one final jaw-dropping twist. A last-minute revelation hints that someone close to the Abbotts may be playing a double game. The clues are subtle, but the implications are enormous. Is there a traitor in their midst? Or is this merely the opening move in an even bigger battle yet to come? The episode ends with a single, chilling line, one that suggests the Abbotts' triumph may have awakened a far more dangerous enemy. Today's shocking news of The Young and the Restless. Jack Abbott plays hardball with Victor Newman over Matt Clark. Genoa City is bracing for a seismic power shift, and at the epicenter of the storm are two titans who never back down, Jack Abbott and Victor Newman. This week on The Young and the Restless, long-simmering tensions explode into a full-blown corporate and personal war as Jack plays ruthless hardball with Victor over one dangerous name from the past, Matt Clark. And make no mistake, this isn't just business. This is about revenge, leverage, and a secret that could blow the doors off Newman Enterprises and leave Victor exposed like never before. A name that changes everything. For years, Matt Clark has existed as a ghost in Genoa City lore, a shadowy figure tied to dirty deals, buried crimes, and power plays that never quite surfaced in daylight. But now, Matt's name is being spoken again, and it's Jack Abbott who's daring to say it out loud. Sources close to the storyline suggest Jack has uncovered information that connects Matt Clark directly to Victor Newman in ways Victor desperately hoped would remain hidden. What makes this revelation so explosive isn't just that Matt Clark is back in play, it's how Jack got his hands on the truth. Quietly, methodically, Jack has been piecing together fragments. Old financial records, offshore accounts, sealed settlements, and whispers from people Victor once paid to keep silent. The result? A dossier so damaging that even Victor Newman, the master of intimidation and manipulation, is rattled. Jack Abbott's calculated revenge. Jack Abbott isn't acting on impulse. This is strategy at its finest. After years of being outmaneuvered, betrayed, and underestimated by Victor, Jack has finally reached a turning point. This time, he's not reacting to Victor's moves. He's anticipating them. Jack's decision to confront Victor over Matt Clark isn't about public humiliation yet. It's about leverage. Jack knows Victor's greatest weakness isn't money or power. It's exposure. And Matt Clark represents a loose end that could unravel years of carefully constructed lies. Insiders tease that Jack corners Victor in a tense, closed-door meeting. No witnesses, no lawyers, just two enemies staring each other down. Jack lays it out plainly. He knows Victor's connection to Matt Clark, he knows what really happened, and he knows where the bodies, financial and otherwise, are buried. Victor's response? Cold fury. Victor Newman pushes back, hard. If Jack thought Victor would fold, he underestimated the Black Knight of Genoa City. Victor doesn't beg, and he doesn't negotiate from fear, at least not openly. Instead, he goes on the offensive, launching a counterstrike that threatens everything Jack holds dear. Victor begins by targeting Jabot, quietly undermining key partnerships and leaning on board members who still owe him favors. Stock fluctuations, sudden supplier issues, and whispered doubts about Jack's leadership all start piling up. It's classic Victor, death by 1,000 cuts. But that's not all. Victor also digs into Jack's personal life, probing for weaknesses he can exploit. His focus sharpens on the Abbott family, particularly Kyle, Diane, and even Ashley. Victor's message is clear. If Jack wants to play hardball, Victor will aim for the heart, not just the wallet. Matt Clark, alive, watching, and dangerous. Here's where things take a truly shocking turn. Rumors swirl that Matt Clark isn't just a name in a file. He may be alive and watching from the shadows. Whispers suggest Matt has resurfaced, aware that his past ties to Victor could make him either a liability or a weapon. Jack knows this too. In a bold and risky move, Jack allegedly reaches out to intermediaries connected to Matt, offering protection in exchange for the truth. If Matt Clark talks, really talks, it could mean criminal investigations, federal scrutiny, and a scandal that would rock Genoa City to its core. Victor, sensing the walls closing in, scrambles to shut Matt down before Jack can get him on record. The race is on and the stakes couldn't be higher. A dangerous game of chicken. What makes this storyline so gripping is the psychological warfare. Jack and Victor aren't just battling over corporations, they're daring each other to blink first. Jack's threat is subtle but devastating. He doesn't need to destroy Victor publicly. He just needs to prove he can. Victor, meanwhile, believes fear is his greatest asset. If he can remind Jack of the cost of crossing him, maybe Jack will back off. But here's the twist fans didn't see coming. Jack doesn't blink. Instead, he escalates. Jack quietly alerts legal authorities to irregularities tied to shell companies connected to Matt Clark. He doesn't name Victor outright, but the breadcrumbs are impossible to ignore. Suddenly, Victor finds himself fielding uncomfortable questions, hiring damage control, and realizing that Jack Abbott has finally learned how to fight like a Newman. Fallout across Genoa City. The ripple effects of this feud are immediate and far-reaching. Nikki Newman senses something is wrong as Victor grows more secretive and volatile. Her concern deepens when she realizes Matt Clark's name is tied to one of Victor's darkest chapters. Kyle Abbott is torn between loyalty to his father and fear that Jack's gamble could destroy their family. Ashley Abbott, ever the strategist, warns Jack that poking Victor could lead to irreversible consequences, but even she seems impressed by Jack's resolve. Michael Baldwin, Victor's longtime fixer, finds himself in an ethical crisis as the legal implications of Matt Clark's past come into focus. Everyone is choosing sides, and neutrality is no longer an option. Is this the beginning of Victor's fall? For decades, Victor Newman has survived every scandal, every enemy, every betrayal. But this time feels different. Jack Abbott isn't acting alone, and he isn't acting blindly. He's prepared, patient, and most importantly, unafraid. The Matt Clark secret threatens to do what no corporate takeover ever could: strip Victor of his myth. If the truth comes out, Victor won't just lose power. He'll lose control of the narrative that's protected him for years. And Jack knows it. Final shock, Jack's ultimate card. Just when Victor thinks he's weathered the worst, Jack hints at one final bombshell, a piece of evidence so damning that it could force Victor into an impossible choice: surrender control quietly or risk total annihilation. What is it? The show isn't saying yet. But insiders tease it ties Matt Clark to an act Victor has never been publicly accused of, something that crosses the line from ruthless to criminal. One thing is certain: the Jack Abbott we're seeing now isn't the man Victor once toyed with. He's sharper, colder, and more dangerous than ever. What happens next? As The Young and the Restless heads into next week, fans can expect explosive confrontations, shocking revelations about Matt Clark, a possible legal storm brewing for Victor Newman, and a power shift that could redefine Genoa City forever. Jack Abbott is done playing defense. He's playing to win.